Ding, ding, ding.
Cybernation Uncensored.
Never get tired of watching Cybernation's intro video.
All right. This is Fallout Pacific Northwest. I am the Overseer, Drader. We are here after an absence 2 weeks ago because at that time I was getting ready for GaryCon, which you may or may not have heard of. Basically, it was a big con that's been around for the last 15 years. Done in the memory of Gary Gygax, who is, of course, the father of Dungeons & Dragons, and the convention took place at Lake Geneva, which is the birthplace of Dungeons & Dragons. Had a great con, came home with con crud. I've been sick ever since, but we're going to do this thing. This might be one of our shortest sessions, though, just because I've been suffering with this for the last several days. So that being the case, let's go ahead and do our intros. Eric, starting with you.
Eric Leonard, I work in public lands, and I've known Darren most of our lives, and like doing the stuff that he does. So I'm playing Regis Moset, our local expert.
Cool. Dennis.
Hi, I'm Dennis. I've known Darren for this many weeks. I run the OKSDM YouTube channel. I do a bunch of other stuff like charity streams all over the internet. My current project is creating Sagas, a rules light TTRPG system.
Which you may have heard him talking about during the countdown.
Yes, I was.
Cool. All right. Raven.
Hey everyone, I'm Raven. You can find me all over the internet at @FamiliarRaven. I am also the community manager for Cybernation Uncensored. I GM for the High Riders campaign every Friday at 5 p.m. Pacific. We should be getting started with Cyborg pretty soon with GM Rob Mulligan. And tonight I will be playing Major Gusset. So, thank you.
Cool. Also, Cybernation Uncensored is sponsored by Modifius Entertainment. So, they're awesome. They make the Fallout game. They make a lot of other really cool games. Check them out. You won't be sorry. All right. So with that said, we do not have Capricious Nature with us tonight, aka Bolt. So I think that rather than NPC him, we're just going to say that he stayed behind at the vault for one reason or another. Does anybody remember where we're at, though?
Oh, yeah. We're going to prepare for war. That's what's happening. We're on our way to, I believe what we decided was we were on our way to a old shut down like sheet metal factory or something, because Vault 2 needs welding equipment to build barricades and armor, etc.
And an old industrial park is where you're headed. Or
more
specifically, a factory that produced or that fabricated metal goods. So, yeah, that is where we're at. And luckily, it is not that far away from Vault 2. It's also within the irradiated zone, but within a few miles.
Well, it's not anything that Garrick hasn't handled before, right?
Yeah.
All right, so taking off. You are in the Killdozer. Like I said, Bolt is staying behind on this one for his own reasons. Maybe he'll fill us in next time. But,
Who's driving?
Oh, that's a good question.
That's an excellent question, Major. I was just about to ask, because Bolt I'm surprised that he's letting us take this thing, to be honest. Regis, you have the most experience with this particular piece of equipment. Do you think you could make it go?
I've written it a lot, but I'm gonna look at skills here because
Perhaps we should make Bolt drive at gunpoint.
yeah, just tell him to shut up and drive.
There we go. There we go.
Well, because I don't think he would trust me to touch anything in, near, or around the driver's seat of this thing. That when I was driving that muscle car a couple days ago, that was the only thing I've ever driven, I think.
Okay. I know, if pilot's the relevant skill, that ain't great for me, but depends on, if we're just driving roads, maybe it won't be so bad.
I believe you have driven it in the past, haven't you?
Yeah. I deferred to the player's bigger than me. But I'll take the driver's seat and hopefully win your trust.
Well, here's
training program.
Overseer. Are we expecting to run into resistance on this short trip?
You don't know.
Of course we don't.
It's con crud. You're going to be within the irradiated zone, which means that you're unlikely to run into too many, say, unaltered humans on this run. Although you might, it is possible. And you're really not sure what to expect when you get there.
Well, I've heard tale of these scorpions that have mutated to enormous size and will hunt you down, and yeah, I want to be in the killdozer. So, Regis, are you comfortable with driving this thing?
You bet.
I don't believe you, but I'm going to take that anyway.
Ask no more questions. It'll be fine.
Why are you driving like this?
How many gears do we need?
Oh, I'm sure Bolt would love you for that.
Yeah.
I'm just imagining the scene in Galaxy Quest where he's taking the giant ship out and he hits the edge of the garage door and he's just
Pretty much.
Space Talk and Star Trek.
Yeah.
different kind of sci-fi here.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely different kind of sci-fi. Okay. All right, you're driving. It's definitely not as smooth as what you guys are used to, but you're getting it done. You're getting it done, and where you're headed from here, you are basically just driving these old roads, these old, cracked and crumbling, but still mostly intact roads. And along the way, you're just seeing, dead cityscape, because it's still irradiated, People only come in here with their radiation suits on, to this day.
But our vault suit is sufficient for this area?
Vault suit is sufficient, yes, because it does have radiation protection built into it.
Cool. Well, not that the Major would need to worry about it.
Yeah.
I'm perfectly fine, meatbag.
Yeah, you get enough radiation, you'll just have a nice glow to you.
Just charges the internal battery.
Yeah, and lights up like a beacon at night. So let's get home before sundown.
All right. Well,
I'll pop out the top and use my scope to take a look at the surrounding area. Keep an eye out for threats.
all right. Well, you're pretty sure that threats are not too far away from where you're at, but you do have to be in the Killdozer, which it would even take a pretty brave group of super mutants. They'd have to have a lot of balls to really attack that thing, you know. So because you have the advantage of the Killdozer, it's kind of unlikely that anything's gonna jump out at you just running down the street. Once you get out of that thing, though, all bets are off. So, speaking of which, it really doesn't take long until you see the industrial park you're headed toward. It's really not that far away. Excuse me. When you're about a quarter mile away, you can see the building, and from where you're at, it looks just kind of like a big rectangular warehouse.
Okay.
Well, they really weren't kidding. That is close. We totally could have walked that. I don't see anything nasty yet, but I'm also looking at this building, and Overseer, do I see any secure parking spots?
Parking spots are easy to be had because they had built this place to, have shift workers and stuff that would come in and out all the time, and they needed to have places to park. And they've been dead for, a couple hundred years. This is not a hub of activity anymore.
I'm specifically worried about like someone taking the Killdozer or commandeering it or like fortifying around it while we're not there. Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to look around and figure out a way to make that as difficult as possible.
Sure. Well, where you're at right now, you are looking at the front entrance, which would have been the main door that employees would come and gone through when, back in the day. There is, you can easily drive around to the back side if you want.
Hey Regis, let's see if there's a loading dock that we can shove this thing through. If we can get this inside the warehouse, extra bonus, less walking for us when we do find that equipment.
Alan,
I don't want to have to drag that stuff any farther than I have to. I don't know about you.
we can always
Have
just
a
make a
trailer.
hole. Yeah, let's go.
Okay.
Okay, you pull it around back, and they do have a 3-bay loading zone.
Ha! Called it.
Those bays were designed to back, these big trailers all the way into, so they can load them up. So
There's like a 4-foot difference from the height off the ground, right?
No, actually.
Are we looking at garage doors, or are we looking at things that semi-trailers back into?
These are basically garage doors.
Okay, cool. Amazing.
Regis, how good are you at backing a trailer up?
Oh, it'll be fine.
Mom back.
Giant
That's good.
trailer right
All right, so you've got these 3 basically garage doors arrayed in front of you. They're all closed, and they're all intact.
They don't look that strong. I suppose we should actually try to figure out if we can open them nicely first, though, right?
Yeah.
Float over to one of the doors, one of the smaller access doors, and see if it's open.
I will cover the major as she does this.
Okay, well, there really aren't any smaller access doors. There's just these big garage doors, which they do look like they're controlled from the inside.
Okay, so
Or at least were
I
once
blast
upon a
my way
time. What's that?
in. I blast my way in
Okay, how would you like to go about this? What are you going to blast? And with what?
with my laser.
So you're just going to try to like shoot a bunch of holes in it until it falls inward?
About my size.
Oh, okay. All right. Go ahead and give me an attack roll on that.
Okay.
I'm imagining this working and Garrick having to complaining about going through a major gusset-shaped hole to get in and out.
Yeah.
Okay, looks like you got one success.
One success.
It's gonna be pretty tight as it is. You might want to try and see if you can get another success.
Okay.
Oh, there you go. That just generated an AP as well. All right.
Amazing. Cap was keeping track of those, wasn't he?
I believe he was.
All right.
Hey, starting over from scratch. You got one. Who's keeping track?
Well, there is something on the Roll20 right there that says action points 5.
Oh, look at that.
Haha.
Well, I guess now it's 6. Right?
Well done.
Cool.
Yeah.
See, he's still with us even if he's not here.
The messages he's left behind.
Okay, so you blow a hole that is definitely big enough for you to fit through it in the door. And any chance of
Okay. I float in.
any chance of stealthing into this place is out the window now completely.
Be louder, why don't ya?
Exactly.
I float in and see if there's anything to open the door from the inside.
Okay. There were... Okay, so next to these 3 bays, each of them has a big switch.
Flip the switch.
Nothing happens.
All right. Float around, see if I can find a generator.
All right.
Let's
If there
require
are
power.
generators, it would appear that... well, you're not seeing any off the top of your head from where you're at. What you're looking at right here is, you're in a loading bay. Off to your right is an office suite, which says there's a sign above the door that says executives only. Off to your left there is a maintenance office, and then outside of that there's a storage area that has a bunch of what looks like broken down equipment. Beyond that is a warehouse area.
There's no manual, like a pulley system or whatever for the doors.
Give me a check on that. Let's take a look here and see what you can give me. Okay, so let's say perception plus
Science.
yeah, I guess we'll do science. And you're looking for 1 success.
Alrighty.
You don't know.
I don't know. We do have a -2 in chat that we would get that success with.
Okay. I used 2 luck and then the -2.
Okay. Would that bring it? Would that? Oh, give me 1 second, okay?
Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah, because your goal is 7 and you rolled 2 9s, so the -2 alone. Or I guess
But after the fact, if you you have to use 2 sets of negatives.
Gotcha.
Plus 2s.
haha.
1 success.
Regis, what do you think is taking her so long? It's been a while and she's still trying to open a door?
1 success.
I'm going to trust process.
All right.
What process? Her process is shoot.
Exactly.
All right. You do see a pulley system that looks like it would probably open the door. Looks like maybe it's a backup in case the generator went out or something like that.
I wouldn't have the leverage to activate that. I float back over to the hole that I made and ask the meat bags to come inside.
You're lucky I'm getting used to that name.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, okay. Garrick, Regis, I need your assistance.
Whoa. Regis, I think that's the first time she's actually used anyone's name. Like, ever.
Yeah.
Don't
Well,
get
these are the
used to
things that happen when Bolt's not around. We won't say anything.
There's a chain police system for the doors. I won't have enough leverage to activate it.
What, do you think I will? I'll hold up at one of my skinny arms.
No,
Between you
couple of
and
us
Garrick,
working
you have
together.
more leverage than I do.
Yep.
All right, let's give it a shot.
Okay, so Garrett goes in. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yep. Garrett goes in and is going to attempt to open the doors via the pulley system.
Okay. All right. You go in, and the pulley system is pretty straightforward and does not require a check. You simply need to use it. As you're doing that, the door slowly rolls open.
You know, you could have just said you needed someone with hands. It didn't really require any weight.
I didn't want to give you the satisfaction of looking silly.
The truth comes out.
Now it all makes sense. This was a ploy to make me look a fool. Well, it worked. You happy? Let's get the killdozer in here.
Okay.
Okay, so Regis, you see the door open. At this point, you're going to need to give me a piloting check to see if you can actually get in there successfully. You're looking
Can
for
I assist by, like, waving him back?
You can. We really only need 1 success, and it's going to be an agility pilot check.
Okay.
Please use AP if you need it. Bolt would not forgive us if we wrecked this thing.
You do have plenty of AP.
So that'd be an extra dice.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I'm going to use one just out of an abundance of caution.
I like that. I like abundances of caution.
Oof. Not great.
Okay,
Oh,
not only do you not succeed, but you also get a complication.
Let's reroll that.
Do you have any luck?
Yeah. I do.
Do you want to use it?
Yeah, let's use it. I want to be kind to the killdozer.
Okay.
So
go
just
ahead,
one,
Go ahead and re-roll that one then.
the whole thing, or just one die.
Just the one that you.
Just the critical
fail.
fail.
Right, just the crit fail.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Oof. Wow.
All right. So
I stalled.
Not a crit fail. Still bad.
So the door's open and there's kind of a scraping sound as you hit the side of the door, and then you back it up a little bit, and then you try to put it back in. There's scraping from the other side, and you're definitely putting marks on the killdozer, but you're not causing like any serious damage. It's all superficial, but you haven't gotten it in yet.
Okay.
All right, you know what? I can't take one of those screeches again. Literally, just leave the killdozer there. Like 2 feet inside is fine.
Okay.
Did he wedge the trailer in that way? Because we are towing a trailer.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. That thing has keys, right? No one's gonna steal it from us if we leave it here?
Yeah.
All right, good. Well, if there's anything here, they are very aware of our presence, so let's be careful as we look around for this welding stuff. I mean, between shooting open the first door and screeching against the second, we're not even all the way inside, and everything in a mile radius is aware.
Yeah. It's all good.
Okay, well,
Exactly.
so you've got this big open door in front of you. Excuse me. Again, beyond where you're at here, there's a big warehouse area. You've got offices off to the right. You've got the maintenance area off to the left. Where do you want to go exactly in here?
I recall there was a door that says employees only. Garrick catches that one first and immediately says, "Ooh, that's a place I shouldn't be. Let's go there."
That was the executive's office. There's a little door that said executives only.
Okay.
Well, I feel awfully executive today, so I'm gonna go that way.
All right.
Split the party. We split the party.
You get to the door and it is locked.
Well, I'm suddenly feeling significantly less executive.
What
I wonder if...
The major is our executive key, by the way.
I drifted over to the maintenance.
Major, why are you... okay, fine. And I'll follow the major.
Okay. So the maintenance office is an enclosed area that it's kind of like its own separate room, and there's a door that goes into it, much like the executive's office.
Try the door, see if it's open.
It is not locked.
Okay. Open the door.
Okay.
Float inside.
You open the door. It is a square area. You see a whole bunch of bins with like little parts that you're not exactly sure what they go to. They seem to be random replacement parts that go to various things. You do see a welding machine, maybe an old MIG welder. It's sitting on a pallet. You're not sure why it's there. Maintenance usually means something's broken. But you do see one of those in there. And you also see various other pieces of equipment that are in various states of disrepair throughout the room.
Welcome, Raiders.
Raiders? We have to deal with raiders now?
No, we're
I'm sorry, that joke is never going to get old in my head.
Yeah. Okay.
We're being raided by Dan Servo and his 19 raiders. Thank you. I'll look over to Regis and Garrick and say, think I found one of our welders.
Hey, awesome.
Yeah.
There may be something wrong with it. We just throw it on the trailer anyway.
Might as well. Do you think they're going to need these parts to fix it? I'm indicating the bins of random pieces of metal. Or because I really don't want to have to bring all of this back. I'd rather find functioning ones first.
Could always use spare parts.
You know, that's actually not a bad idea. You know, they probably have a manual for these things, and I'm going to start looking through like filing cabinets if there are any.
There are filing cabinets, and as a matter of fact, it's not particularly difficult to find a drawer that has it basically has one manual there for every machine that they had. I mean, every physical machine, not just every type of machine. So you basically have a drawer full of owner's manuals that belong to these.
I'll start thumbing through those and looking for all of the welders that are types of welders that they could possibly have, looking specifically for pictures of them so we know what we're looking for.
Okay. The one that you're looking at right now, it's a red MIG welder, so that's the wire feed, and you can pretty much use that to weld on steel. There is also, you see another one, it looks like there's probably 3 in the entire facility, that lets you weld on lighter metals like aluminum. And that would be the TIG welder. There's also, excuse me, there's like a couple of them which were specifically for arc welding using a stick. So usually what they would use those for is into tight places. And with some of them, you could actually take a MIG welder and refit them to work with a stick. Sometimes, depending on the MIG welder.
Nice.
So basically, there's 3 different types. But the primary one that you see in there would be the MIG welder, or the wire feed. Also, give me an intelligence plus science check, and you're looking for 1 success. 2 successes, perfect. You got yourself another.
Cool.
Excellent.
It looks as though with the MIG welders, you're not going to be able to get a steady arc to do a good weld unless you've got tanks of argon. So argon plus the spools of wire are consumables for that type of welder.
Okay.
So let's not get those, and let's get the ones that don't have as many rare consumables. That's my plan anyway. Does that sound good, guys? Because like I don't want to have to keep coming back here. I know we're close. I know this place is close to the vault, but I don't want to have to keep making this trip.
Sounds good to me.
All right.
Why don't you go ahead and give me another one of these checks?
A science intelligence.
Can I scrounge around for those argon tanks?
Major Gusset, why don't you give me one of those checks?
Which one was it again? Intelligence what?
Intelligence science.
Okay.
Okay.
One success.
You happen to know, being a being made of metal yourself, that every single type here of welder is going to have quote-unquote rare consumables, and that still the easiest type to use is still going to be your MIG welder.
So, what is it? A MIG welder, Major? You know, this thing, and I'll hold up the manual. This is what we're looking for, right? Like another one of these, except not broken like this one?
Yes, correct.
And we need tanks of ergon, right?
Why do we need cans of Argonians? No kidding.
All right. Well, we need the machines first. Without, we can't have one without the other. We're gonna need to find both. And they're not in this room, but these manuals are gonna be useful. I'll take the MIG welder manual, pocket it, and make my way out of the room.
Okay. All right. So you make your way out of the room. You're back at the loading bay. Like I said, further into the warehouse, there's this huge warehousing area. You see, in that area, you see enormous stacks of boxes, literally stacked all the way close to the ceiling. And then beyond that, there's more stuff. You can't tell what it is from where you're at.
How about we scrounge the warehouse and see if we can find these tanks or whatnot?
Tanks or the welders? Yeah.
Yeah, the welders.
I'll take this. You can take that one.
Sure. Perception survival?
Sure.
May I use an action point?
Yes, please do.
Excellent.
Okay.
Is it just Major or everyone?
Good question. What's Regis doing?
I'm just hanging back watching, the collecting. Here to carry stuff if needed.
Okay, so in other words, you're staying back by the killdozer and letting these two do the actual work.
Well, the shopping. I'm supervising the killdozer.
The shopping.
Yeah.
All right.
You ever done a heist before? He's our driver, obviously. He stays with the car.
2 successes.
Okay, well, I have some good news and some bad news. I'll start with the bad news. Bad news is where you're at right now is the warehousing area, which is where they put the finished products. There wasn't really any production that was going on here. This is where the stuff that they made. So you'll see things here like metal plows and pieces of industrial equipment and stuff like that that's been it's been made out of metal and stored here. But you're pretty sure that the actual equipment is not in this area. The good news is that you do catch sight of something, and that something would be 3 feral ghouls moving in your direction.
Wow. When the good news is feral ghouls coming to attack.
Well, they're kind of sneaking around, and but you catch sight of them, so that's a good, that's good news. Excuse me, God, I'm so sorry.
The acronym PTF comes to mind.
All right, so what do you want to do?
Purification for fire.
I want to shoot. Am I allowed to shoot?
Combat hasn't started just yet. I don't think they've noticed.
Oh, okay.
How about we all huddle together and identify that we have 3 feral ghouls trying to sneak up on us?
How far away are they? Like mid-range, close range?
Mid-range right now.
I can take one of them out before they get to us.
I can barbecue another one, maybe.
That was one for you, Regis.
What? Oh, I thought I was going to get to be the cheerleader and go, gay team.
When has that ever been the case?
Well, that's better than getting wounded all the time. So we'll try. One for me.
I'm starting to understand more and more the real reason why I keep getting brought along on these adventures.
Mm-hmm.
All right, ready?
Well, they are slowly creeping forward, hanging out in the shadows. But like I said, you can definitely see their movement, so you know they're there.
All right, weapons hot, and I'm gonna take a shot at one of them with a laser musket.
All right. Actually, let me just check one thing real quick. They're going to be a 10. So, wait, let me choose.
Thank you for the -2, Cragors.
Yeah.
Yes, we're gonna need it.
Okay, if you want to take the shot, go ahead.
All right. Mind if I use one of our huge spray of action points?
Do
Go
it.
for it.
Oh, nice. Well,
Wait, hang on. You know what?
Look back.
you get your AP back, but you also have a complication.
I don't like
Use
complications. I'll burn a luck.
Okay, reroll it.
Just don't get another complication.
That's the plan. That's the hope. I'm trying to remember how to roll just one. It keeps wanting to.
Input value, number of dice.
All right, I'm gonna make a random big guns, but using only 1 die. Is that? Oh no! Oh, I understand. I remember. Sorry. It's been 4 weeks.
Use the
There you
-2.
go.
Don't need it.
4 successes now.
4 successes.
You definitely hit something. Give me a location and roll some damage.
All right. Location. I'm just gonna roll my real dice. That's a 3.
Okay.
Torso.
Okay.
And damage. Yes.
Look at that.
How does this happen every time? 1 piercing with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 damage.
Okay. 6 damage to the torso. Okay. The piercing won't do much good because they don't have any damage reduction. But that is a significant amount of damage. Not enough to kill it, but still significant. This will bring us to the beginning of actual combat. At which point... Yep, screwed that up. Screwed it up again. Try it one more time. Okay. At which point it is your turn again.
Ah, amazing.
Sweet.
I fire again. At what is this one? The one I hit. What does he look like now?
Pieces?
Well, his torso looks kind of like hamburger, but he's still up.
All right. In this system, what does it take to switch weapons?
That's a very good question. I think that you can pretty much do it as a movement.
Okay, and since I'm not moving, I'm going to put away my laser musket because that thing burns through ammunition really fast, and I don't have very much, and I haven't found any places to restock for it. So I'm going to take out... Instead, I will take out a baseball grenade.
Okay.
Woo.
And I'm gonna huck a baseball grenade at him.
Okay, they're far enough away that you're probably only going to affect one of them at a time.
Oh, they're not clumped together.
Yeah,
Darn.
They're not clumped together. They're kind of sneaking in vectors, but
All right.
they're all
In that case, I'll just burn through the ammunition and shoot with my laser musket again.
okay.
Okay.
All right, give me a hit roll. That's a hit.
Amazing.
Okay.
How does this always happen? I'm not complaining by any means.
Yeah.
All right, give me a location.
Targeting the same dude. Does he become
Give me a
hot, gooey paste?
Well, give me a hit location first.
14, right arm.
Okay, so you're shooting, and the right arm detaches completely, and the rest of the shots go into the torso, and that looks even worse than it did before. And then as that kind of goes across its body, you decapitate it, and the head goes flying. And what you end up with is about 3 pieces of that one particular ghoul. So you've done a pretty thorough job disassembling that dude.
All right, one down. I did my part.
Yeah. I thought you were going to get mine too.
And that will bring us to Major Gus.
Alrighty. Use my flamethrower on one of them.
Okay. Give me an attack
I'll
roll.
use okay. And I'll use 1 action point.
Okay. You get your AP back, and that's a hit. And also critical.
And I'll use 1 luck. I'll use 1 luck to re-roll that that critical.
Okay. Okay. That's still fail on that one dice, but it's not a crit anymore, so that's good.
Okay.
Give me a hit location
Alrighty.
and give me some damage.
Hit location is D20, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
3.
That's the torso. So it's 3 damage plus what does your what does the effect do?
My perk. I'm gonna
no.
spend. I'm also gonna spend a luck point, so that's 2 down. Let's see. Better criticals. When you inflict 1 or more points of damage to an enemy, you may spend 1 point of luck to automatically inflict a critical injury.
Okay.
A critical hit causing an injury when compounded by bloody mess. When I inflict a critical hit, I roll 1d6. If I roll an effect, it inflicts an additional injury to a random location. So 1d6. Nope.
Okay. So still 3 points of damage. What part of the body do you hit?
Come on, critical headshot.
7.
Well, torso, that's, body shot ain't bad.
Yep. Okay, is that the end of your turn?
Yep.
All right. Cap is not here. Regis, you're up.
Alrighty. Let's see. There it is. With small guns, is that strength or endurance? Blanking here.
Agility.
Agility. I'll do that. Yeah, okay. See, that's why we have a team. And yeah, I'm shooting at the last one standing, right?
There's actually 2 of them that are still up. One's
Okay.
one's taking some damage, the other one's not. So are you shooting at the one that's taking damage or the one that's uninjured?
I'm all about the pylon, so that one that was taking damage.
Okay. That's a hit, so give me a hit location and some damage.
All right.
Uh, 10 is going to be the arm.
And
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4 damage plus 3 effects. What are those effects on that?
that's a burst on the assault rifle.
Okay, does anybody know off the top of their head what the burst does?
No.
If you're not.
I'm going to have to look this up, aren't I?
I'm gonna try to do the same. See if I can beat you.
I'm going to guess they put this under damage and injury.
Excuse me.
Burst. The attack may hit one additional target within close range of the primary target for each effect rolled.
Aha. Okay, there is only one other one up. and you just did 4 points of damage, so this one takes an additional 4 points of damage.
Score!
Each additional target costs 1 additional shot from the weapon.
Okay. Just so you know, you're kind of breaking up there for some reason.
Yeah.
Oh, probably my internet blippy. It says
Let's do it. All right.
You sounded better now.
each additional shot costs 1 additional. Each additional target costs 1 additional shot from the weapon.
Okay, in other words, burn some ammunition there. Cover
Yeah.
that. Okay. It's their turn.
Okay.
So they close the gap. The first one, which is barely hanging on to life, is going to attack Garrick.
No, Garrick is so nice.
It wants to turn you into a clicker.
Wrong franchise.
Okay, target number is
Cross
8.
franchise.
Looks like we got 1 success. What is your defense?
My defense is 1.
Okay, so that is a hit.
And my physical armor everywhere except my head is 1.
Let's see.
Okay, so 3 and 4 are zeros, which means that you take 1 damage plus another damage with an effect. The effect is radioactive physical damage. So basically, you are now at radiation 1.
Okay. Does my vault suit give me any protection from that?
Oh, that's a good question. That would give you protection against
Base damage resistance 2 against radiation.
Oh, there you go. That absorbs it.
Good.
And I only take 1 damage from the 2 they took because of my physical resistance.
Okay. Very good.
Unless he hit me in the head, in which case I would take none. Which is ironic.
We should probably figure out the hit location, shouldn't we? 5. 5 would be...
Yeah, torso.
Torso.
So I just take the 1. Cool. Ouch!
All right,
Don't hit me there, it hurts.
So basically that was a
It tried to
claw.
bite your collarbone.
He clawed you, is what he did. Got you in the torso and not too much. Okay, so moving on to the other one. That one is going to attempt to get Regis. Target number is 8. They got 2 6s. That's 2 successes. That would be a hit. Hit to the number 1. I believe that's going to be the head.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the damage is going to be... Oh, wait a minute. That last one went through, didn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. You'd be better off taking my second roll.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's 5 damage that you take plus 1 effect. The effect is a radiation. So you're going to be at radiation 1 unless you have something to resist radioactive damage or radiation damage.
I'm pretty sure I do not.
Okay.
Yep. I mean, I've got,
He's wearing power armor.
yeah.
It's just never come up before now.
Yeah. Well, early on, we had some trouble with radiation. We've been avoiding it for a while, so this is the things that Garrick leads us into. Yeah.
Yes, play music.
Hey, I didn't invite myself into the party.
Regis is going to turn into a glowing one.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
that's their turn. So, Garrett, you're back up.
Ow, that hurt. I'm going to take out a pipe pistol, point it, try my best to shove it into this ghoul's mouth and pull the trigger.
Okay.
Oof.
But up.
That'll hit.
One success. Amazing.
Nice.
1 damage. No effect.
Okay. No, that would give you an effect, but I don't think pipe pistols
Well, the
have
pipe
an
pistol doesn't have an effect.
effect. Right. Okay. So, you splatter that one's brains all over the wall and it goes down.
Oh, really? Amazing.
That leaves one more. Is that the end of your turn?
Yes.
Okay. Moving on to Major Gusset.
Shoot it with the flamethrower again.
Okay.
Don't set it on fire. That just makes it worse.
That's a total miss. Looks like.
Darn it. Okay.
Gonna roll with it, huh? All right.
Yep.
All right, Regis, you're up.
Going after the last guy standing, right?
Mm-hmm. Negative.
Swing and a miss.
All right. Is that the end of your turn?
Yeah.
All right. They're going to be up, and this is the same one that was attacking you the last round, so he's going to attack you again.
And of course.
Looks like we have 1 success. Damage is going to be 2. Unmodified 2, or no effects, just 2.
Okay.
That'll be the end of its turn. Garrick, you're back up.
All right. We really need to get rid of this thing. And the only close range weapon I have is this pistol, so I'm going to
Okay.
try to take this thing out.
Complication.
All right, I've been playing this for several sessions now, and I don't think we've ever actually had a complication. And I only have 1 luck point left, so I'm going to let the complication stand.
Okay. All right, so you miss. Your pipe pistol jams. Roll 1d4.
4.
That is the number of rounds it will take you to unjam your pipe pistol.
Ouch.
All right, is that the end of your turn?
Yeah, that's the end of my turn. God, freaking just get out.
All right, Major Gus.
Shoot again.
That'll hit and give you an AP.
Woo!
Nice.
So give you damage plus the hit location.
Location shall be 11.
Okay, the arm.
Okay, and here we go for damage.
2. It is still up. Is that the
Darn
end of
it.
your turn?
Yep.
Okay. Moving on to Regis.
Yeah. All right. one more shot here.
That'll hit.
Hey.
Give me a location and some damage.
Okay. In the torso.
Okay.
And there we go.
All right, 3 damage plus the effects. What are the effects again?
Hit other stuff. At this point, there's no other target, right?
That's true.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, okay, that's right. That's okay because 3 points is enough to do this one in. So you hit it in the torso, it just kind of goes, ugh, and it falls down. So you've taken these guys out.
Ow. That hurt. I don't like ghouls. Well, I mean, Bolt's fine, but like these guys, they could use some manners.
Yeah. Kind of a drag.
All right. Let's find out if there's actually any stuff here. I don't want to wait around for more of these guys to find us. And I will look around instead of looking for welders this time because we are in the like finished product area of the warehouse or the factory. I want to look for dollies and pallet jacks, stuff we can use to move these welding equipment instead of having to drag them.
Okay. Smart man. There are 2 pallet jacks in the storage area next to the maintenance office, as well as a couple more in the warehouse area. There are no shortage of these things. They're all over the place.
Amazing. I'll grab one of those and tow it behind me.
Okay.
We're gonna have to walk a ways, so let's use these. And I'll make my way down towards the actual construction area.
Okay. Regis and Major Gus, are you grabbing grabbing pallet jacks of your own?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. All right. You walk further into the warehouse area. Off to the right, actually, before you get to that point, off to the left on the other side of the maintenance storage area, you do see a room that is sectioned off that you didn't see before. And then off to the right, a little further down, you see what looks like a subsection. Beyond that, it looks like there's almost a complete wall that runs from floor to ceiling, with the exception of a narrow area between them that goes even further. So that big wall of thing that you see there, you're not sure exactly what that is from where you're at, but it's clearly built into the structure of the warehouse.
Huh. Well, they had to get this stuff here somehow, right? I'm gonna do my best to try to figure out like the organization of the warehouse to try to get to the construction area.
Okay. Well, that narrow area that goes, it kind of breaks up the what looks like a wall to you, but it's still about 15 feet wide. You can get pretty much anything through there, and it's like a corridor. You do see a door on the left-hand side in that area. So this is just kind of a separated area You're not sure what it's for.
All right. We might need to actually do some investigating, figure out what these things are. There's way too many things here I don't understand. And I don't see any welders anywhere. Any ideas, Regis, Major?
Do we look for secret doors or something?
I mean, I guess. I don't know. Overseer, does this look like it's been lived in at all?
Well, I mean, you know that you've got feral ghouls that have been living here, so yeah.
Okay. I don't think the ferals that have been living here are smart enough to conceal a door.
Yeah.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm imagining it. We're going through the warehouse. Mm-hmm. We're in like these aisles that are just stacked almost to the ceiling with crates of stuff. Mm-hmm. And we come to, a cross section, an aisle that goes across instead of lengthwise. And we look down there and we can see a door to a room that we don't know the function of. And further down there is, what looks like the end of the warehouse but there's a section of the wall that just opens up to a corridor.
Yeah, that's pretty much exactly what you're looking
Okay.
at.
I want to go check out the room on the left first.
Now, the corridor that you see, it looks like it only goes about 20, 25 feet, and then beyond that, there's more warehouse.
Gotcha. Okay. In that case, that's the direction I'm going.
Okay, so you just want to go through the corridor into the next area.
Keep walking forward till we find some welders.
All right. So the corridor turns out that you walk by a door, and the door has an old faded sign that says security office. On the other side.
Oh no.
On the other side, it looks like that like wall that you're looking at. As you're walking through there, it looks to you as though these are like buildings within the building. Like they probably had some sort of specific function within the building. Beyond that, you do see the main assembly area, and you see lots of welders in there, and they're all loaded up on pallets. You see argon tanks. You see pretty much all the stuff that you need that was in that, that's in the manuals. It said that you would need, and they're all neatly loaded up onto the pallets. So all you got to do is pretty much, load them up and drag them away. And then beyond that, you see the front door, which you saw from the outside.
Wow, we really went the long way around, didn't we?
Yeah.
How about we move the truck?
Does it look like we're going to be able to get the pallets through the front door?
No.
Yeah. There we go.
Oh. This was really the only option in the first place. We're smart. We should give ourselves more credit.
No, the front door was just the personnel door, and you would have a hell of a time trying to get those pallets through there. Not saying it's impossible, but certainly the opposite of easy.
Let's make a new door with the killdozer.
I mean, I'd rather not collapse the building that contains all the stuff we need. I mean, I don't get me wrong. I love the idea of plowing right through a wall with that thing. But we can do that another day.
You're no fun.
Oh,
Yeah.
No,
also,
I'm just practical. Apparently.
the big buildings that were within the building. It looks like you're actually looking at 2-story structures there, and there's 3 sections on this side. One of them is labeled the control center, so you're guessing that. Well, you can guess which one, but there's actually a stairway that leads up to a balcony, and there's also an upstairs in that area. The other one says training, and there's like a door there, and then beyond that there's a sign that says R&D.
Ooh, R&D.
Why does that catch your attention?
Experimental toys.
You want to upgrade your flamethrower?
Let's see what they have.
We'll explore there a bit. I'm gonna grab one of these and start
Well, after we finish,
piling them closer to the door.
yeah. After we finish loading the stuff that's on our shopping list.
We can go look at the extra goodies.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to assume that you each take the pallet jacks and grab a welder and just head off with it, right?
Yes.
Okay.
We're gonna pack as many welders as we can into that trailer.
Okay. This is going to involve a little bit of work. You're going to have to unplug some lines, and the power cord is quite large and requires a bit of muscle to undo. But it's certainly not anything that requires a roll to do. It's just a little bit time consuming. So it takes you a good few minutes per welder to get it ready to go. I'm assuming that the humans will probably need to help out Major Gus up there, because Major Gus is assigned to do this kind of grunt work. But
I supervise.
Yeah.
In a short period of time, you get 3 welders ready to go.
Aha! Is that all that fits in the trailer?
That's all you can take with your 3 pallet jacks. You could continue stuffing that thing full in 2 ways, actually. The first way would be to use all the space there, which you could probably get about 5 or 6. The second way would be you could actually stack one on top of another.
Let's start with 5 or 6. I don't want these bumping into each other too much.
Okay.
We're carrying bombs essentially. If they go bump the wrong way, bad things happen.
Well,
The argon tanks. I'm thinking of.
Argon is an inert gas, so it's not going to explode.
Above table, I know nothing about welding. On table, I know nothing about welding.
Well, I seem to be the resident expert on this because I've actually welded nuclear submarines for a living. So, anyway, yeah, it's an inert gas. It's not going to explode. What you don't want to do is you don't want to end up breathing it, because that will you'll be breathing that to the exclusion of oxygen, which you need to survive.
All right, so we'll take 6.
Yeah.
You guys all right with that? Or do you want to keep doing more work? I mean, we only got how many hours of sunlight left?
At this point, it's not even noon yet. You've got plenty of hours of sunlight.
Oh. Then maybe we try stacking them. Get another 4 in there.
Okay, so you get the first 3 in there. You line them up in the trailer. You go back for 3 more, right?
Yep.
Okay. You get back there. You load up 3 more. You move those to the trailer. Stack them. No problems.
Good.
You still have room for...
Any issues getting our 10 welders?
No, actually that goes pretty smoothly. You manage
Aha!
to load the trailer up fully with welders. That takes you a little while. With all the back and forth and the dragging the machines and everything, that actually takes you like 3 hours worth of work. To get them out of there, get them onto the trailer, stack them, and all this stuff. So now you're early afternoon.
Okay. We can take some time to go look at the toys and then be back for dinner.
Sounds good.
All right, Major, you seem most excited. You lead the way.
Do you want me to do any kind of a roll or just float over through the door?
So you're gonna throw open the door to the research and development office.
Cautiously open the door.
You cautiously open the door, and within you see 3 ghouls basking in the glow from a 4th one.
Oh, Lord. Radioactive glow?
Alrighty.
And when they see you, they stand up immediately and start rushing toward you. But to be clear, that 4th one is a glowing one.
Retreat.
Just the most deadpan. Retreat.
Killdozer.
Okay, so you guys are going to drop everything and run back to the killdozer.
At a double time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Up.
Okay. Everybody, give me a. Let's see. Let's make it an agility plus survival. I think no agility, athletics. Actually, strength athletics. Let's make it easy. Everybody, give me 1 check. Okay, Garrett, you are running. Choo.
Hey.
Major
Nice.
Justice. Well, Major Justice is just kind of gliding. So
Yeah. And I tripped on myself.
gliding quite
Clearly.
successfully. Regis trips and falls with these guys right on their back, on his tail.
No!
What are you going to do?
I
So long,
stop. I
baby.
stop. I grab him by the arm and drag him.
Okay. Major Gusset, give me an athletics check to see if we can hit him and drag him.
I shall use an action point.
Okay. No.
Oof.
Is that with the action point?
Wait, it didn't count there.
No, it didn't.
No, it did. What? It didn't.
Go ahead and give me another roll.
Okay.
We still have 5 left.
Okay.
Let me reroll. I'm gonna dump my luck.
Okay.
Come on. Just one green highlight.
You should have actually only re-rolled the 1 dice, but I'm just gonna say
Fair.
with a result like that is confirmed. You've got a complication. So
Uh-oh.
what happens here is you're trying to help Regis along, which jars loose like the hand-like appendage that you've got, and it literally detaches and clatters on the floor next to Regis.
Lovely.
Garrett,
Well, I can pick that up. Yeah.
Garrett,
I actually don't have a pincer. Oh, no, I do have a pincer. Never mind. I got rid of the buzzsaw.
How? What are the distances here? I'm imagining I'm a little bit further ahead because Major Gus has stopped to help Regis, and are the ghouls like on top of them?
Okay, so there's close distance and there's medium and there's far, right? The ghouls are at medium, so you have a little bit of wiggle room, but not a whole lot.
The ghouls are at medium, and all clumped together, you say?
Yes, all four.
You know my solution to this. We will use that last frag grenade.
Okay.
Fun.
And an action point with it.
Okay.
All right. 3 dice. Frag grenade attack.
Well done.
That will hit.
And an action point.
Get that AP back.
Or 2 action points.
All right. Well, the nice thing is even the glowing one only has a defense of 1, so that hits all of them.
Nice. Here comes big whammage. 4.
Okay. The regular feral ghouls seem to have, it kind of knocked them around. They're kind of staggered. The glowing one doesn't seem to have affected hardly at all. It is coming on strong.
Important question.
Yes.
A grenade just went off in a warehouse with things stacked to the ceiling. Yes? Did any of those things fall?
No.
Dang it.
No. It went boom. Things rattled around, but realistically, warehouses were places where there was a lot of stuff moving around all the time that jostled things around quite a bit. So they're
built to be jostled.
Yeah.
Dang it. That makes sense. I don't like it, but I accept it.
Yeah.
And at this point, I don't know what Garrick would do. He looks at the Major and at Regis and sees a lost cause as a giant or a glowing ghoul just runs straight through an explosion unfazed. Garrick is I'm gonna roll to see whether he would remember that Regis has the keys. He does remember that Regis has the keys, and therefore takes up. Actually, you know what? Garrick's gonna climb.
Okay.
He's gonna climb these shelves to try to get a vantage point away from the ghouls, and start picking them off if he can.
Okay. Give me an athletics check.
This is not gonna work. Not gonna work at all. Eh?
1 success.
All right.
Spend a luck.
You're able to like grab onto a pallet and then grab onto a pallet above that, like kind of shimmy your way up, but you're moving pretty slow compared to what you're thinking you need to do here.
I'm gonna drop down and run over to them, and I think by now that's the end of my turn.
Okay. That would bring us to Major Gusset.
I want to barbecue the glowing one with my flamethrower.
Okay.
So it's 1 action point for an extra dice, and two more after that to bring me up to an additional extra dice for 4 dice. Correct?
I believe so. Yeah.
3 action points.
Yep.
Any objections?
No. Please use them. So you're using 3, you said?
Yes.
Okay, we have 2 left. Worth.
Definitely a hit.
Oh, no.
So that's 4 hits or 3 hits.
That's
Or-
4 successes.
4 successes.
Plus you get, I guess that'd be 2 actually.
Wouldn't that be? Okay.
Okay.
You only needed 1. You only needed 1 to actually hit.
Oh, okay.
But what you need to do is you need to do a lot of freaking damage here, or else it's not going to do any good.
Okay. I'll have to. I hit. How is it again to do extra damage?
Many weapons let you do extra ammunition.
Okay.
Plus, you've also got your abilities. I forget how those work, but
Right.
bloody mess. And,
So now roll damage. Damage and location, right?
Yep.
Okay. So location shall be 19.
Okay, so 19 is a leg, I believe. Yep. Okay, so that's 4 damage. What are the effects?
Effect is burst, persistent, and spread.
Okay, so what do those do?
Burst affects the ones next to it. That's the one we went over earlier.
Yeah.
Okay, so burst actually, with that damage, takes out the other 3 that were with it.
Amazing.
Like they just go down. They're gone.
Let me look up what persistent is.
What was the third one?
Burst, persistent, and spread.
So that spread is what got the other ones. Or wait, no, that was burst. I'm not sure what spread does.
Trying to find it. Spread. For each effect rolled, your attack inflicts 1 additional hit on the target.
Okay, so that's another combat dice.
Each additional hit inflicts half the rolled damage, rounded down, and hits a random location, even if a specific location was targeted for the initial attack.
Hey, we're having problems with your mic again.
Each additional hit inflicts half the rolled damage
Okay, so half the
and hits a new location.
Okay, so you did 4. Half the roll damage is 2. And you got 3 of
New
those.
location is 15.
Okay, so arm. Okay, but you got 3 of those.
Right.
Excuse me. So if I'm understanding this correctly, for every time you roll an effect, you get all 3 of those effects. Is that correct?
I believe so.
Okay. So that means you'd have a total of 6 extra damage in addition to the 4 that you did before for a total of 10. But it is to a different location, which is going to offset the extra. So basically, you hit it.
And then of course,
Persistent is exactly what it sounds like.
How does that work?
Sorry,
Yeah.
go ahead. Oh, persistent. It sets him on fire.
Okay.
He's going to take recurring damage.
Okay.
That's the short version.
Okay, so here's what happens. You hit it. It hits different areas, right? Actually, what was the first area that you rolled? It's a 19, right? So that would be one leg, and then you got a 15. Okay, so you hit one leg, and it sets it on fire. The other leg sets it on fire, but it does not appear to be in any way slowed down or injured by that.
After taking 10 damage?
It is literally walking along on burning legs, and it seems like the fire is doing nothing to it.
Okay.
Somehow this is scarier than the ones in the actual game.
My perks haven't even come into play yet. Let's see. So back again to the better criticals. When I inflict one or more points of damage, spend 1 luck to automatically inflict a critical hit, causing an injury. And then for bloody miss, when I inflict that critical hit, I roll a 1d6. If I roll an effect, I inflict one additional injury to a random location.
Okay. So what you're going to need to do is roll the 1d6 and see what location it hits. If it hits one of the legs, then it might do some damage to that leg. Okay, so that's some damage.
Yes.
That's good.
Good.
Give me the location now. We'll go for a leg.
15 or higher. That's not 15 or
10.
higher.
That's going to be an arm. So now what you've got is you've got 2 legs that are on fire and 1 arm that's on fire. And it doesn't seem to be taking damage from any of that.
But it took an additional point of damage, and then with bloody mess, I also took an additional point of damage from that. So 2 additional.
The problem
damage.
you're running into is that your physical damage reduction on these guys is 4, and your energy damage reduction is 3. So it takes a lot to do much to these guys. Now, the 4 that you did, it did cause 1 point of damage because it's only got a 3 and you did 4. But you're barely scratching the surface here on this guy, and you're throwing everything you got at it.
It's just a tactical retreat.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's the end of your turn. What do you want to do?
Yes.
You haven't moved yet.
Fall back.
Okay.
I'm gonna fall back to my max move.
So you're gonna put as much distance
Back to the
between
bulldozer.
as you can. Got it.
Yes.
Okay, Regis.
Brave
I don't know
running
that-
away.
Yeah, I'm running away because shooting is a waste of time at this point.
Okay.
Feels like.
So you get back to your feet, and you run as far as you can. So really the question at this point is what is it going to do? Because it's either going to go for Garrick, who is in its space, or it's going to chase the 2 of you. And I'm going to let the dice decide on this one.
Okay.
We're going to go with a D10. So if it is 1 through 5, it is chasing. If it is 6 through 10, it's going for Garrett. So here's our die roll. It's chasing. Due to the fact that it is chasing, it is, and you guys are going as fast as you can, it's not able to cover the distance. this brings us back to Garrett. What the heck are you gonna do?
So now the glowing one is between me and the rest of the party.
Yeah. They took off. You took off after him. And you're sitting there going, guys.
So I run. I'm imagining Garrick runs up with his laser musket, going to go help a party. They both pop up on their own, go whoosh, whoosh, and then the ghoul runs right past him as well. He's kind of like, but Garrick is like terrified in this moment, and he's going to turn around, and he sees. He's not right now seeing the glowing one going after his party members. Right now, his thought, like always, is with the people at Vault 2 that saved him. And he sees the glowing one going towards the welding equipment that's supposed to help Vault 2 defend. And Garrick is going to turn, and he's going to take an aimed shot at one of the glowing one's legs and start running in the opposite direction towards the front door.
Okay. All right, give me a shot.
All right. So I have awareness, which gives me stuff. Gives me aim as a minor action. I don't remember how actions work. I've honestly just been doing, okay, I assume I get one shot on my turn and then I'm done.
Pretty much, yeah. Make it count.
Yeah.
Okay. And I will use 1 AP on this. So we have 3 left. Here goes.
That's
2 criticals
to get back. That's 2 crits. That's a good thing. So you definitely hit. And given the fact that they're crits, I will say that you go and hit the leg that you're shooting for. Give me some damage.
That's 5
3, 4,
piercing.
5, 6. 6 piercing. Piercing overcomes the damage reduction. And this is your laser, right?
This is my laser musket, yeah.
Okay. So the piercing will nullify the damage reduction, which is 3. So that gives you 6 damage to the leg. So basically, it's running along. You take an aim shot, kapow! You hit it in the leg, and the leg is still there, but it falls over. So it falls over, and it is now using its 1 good leg and its 2 hands, and it's pulling itself forward, but it's only going at about a quarter of the speed that it was to begin with.
And Garrick will shout to the others, "Go, go, go! I'll meet you around front!"
All right, so it is not going to be able to, well, it's not its turn anyway. So you run in the opposite direction toward the front door, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You get to the front door, you find that it is locked, and we will move to Major Gussie.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
I float up to like where it's just out of range. And I'm gonna shoot it with my laser.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a roll.
Okay. And how many action points do we have?
That would be a question.
We have 5.
I'll use 1. Unless... Did anyone have any objections?
No.
Okay.
No.
Well, you get it back.
Worth.
That's a hit. Give me a
We
location.
have rolled so many crits today.
3. 3 would be the
Torso.
Torso.
And rolling damage.
Okay.
So if I want to try to do more damage, I have to hit it first. Or what? I already hit it. So
Basically, its energy damage reduction is going to absorb the first 3 points that you do to it.
Mm-hmm.
If you do more than 3, then it'll take the additional damage.
So how do I do more damage?
Well, just roll your damage and see if you get any effects and so on and so forth.
Okay.
1, 2, 3,
2 effects.
4 with 2 effects. So 1 damage for sure. And the effects, if I remember,
And it's piercing 1.
Piercing 1, so that'll bring it to 2. So then you've got persistent and spread.
No. This is my laser. This is my laser gun.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you were using a
So
flame.
it only has piercing.
Oh, okay, I gotcha. Okay, so yeah, you did actually do 2 points damage. It's looking a bit weaker than it was to begin with, but it is still very much alive and clawing its way toward you.
I'm gonna spend my last point of luck for this one and see if I roll anything. Nope. An additional point of damage.
Okay. Let's see what the give me a location on that, because if you actually get another one to the torso.
13.
That'll be an arm, so that basically does nothing. Okay, and then you're still running toward the killdozer, right? Once you're done shooting?
Right.
Okay.
I'm doing the accordion thing. Go towards the killdozer, come back, shoot, go towards the killdozer.
Mm-hmm. Well, keep in mind, it has no legs, so it's going at a very slow pace at this point. But
While making sure to stay out of its range.
all right. Okay, so you're way ahead of it now. You did hit it, and that did some good, but it's Regis' turn.
Given my fabulous skill with firearms, is it better for me to just start the killdozer or shoot?
I can't offer any advice, but
There's a minigun on the killdozer.
That's right. But the minigun is pointing towards the front, and we backed this thing in.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't have a pintle? No.
Maybe. Well, let's pull up the image. Let's find out.
oh boy, you want me to pull up the image?
No, I don't. I think it was like down, and there was something.
Well, never mind. The trailers.
I believe the minigun is sitting on your hood, so
Yeah.
you do have to be facing it.
Never mind.
Okay, so Regis, are you going to try to shoot, or are you just going to go for the killdozer?
Well, I can give the assault rifle, one more try.
Okay,
Yeah,
give me a to-hit roll.
yeah. Let's see. Yeah.
You missed
Yeah, it's a
completely.
miss. Yeah.
Are you going
Nada.
to use your move to try to get some killdozer?
Yes.
Okay. All right. You use the rest of your turn to work your way toward the killdozer. The glowing one is moving at a fraction of its speed, so it's falling further behind. That brings us to Garrick, who has reached the front door, which is locked.
The glowing one is still moving towards the killdozer, right?
The glowing one is moving in the opposite direction of you right now, yes.
Alright, where would the key be? Does this door look like I can kick it down? I'm not strong.
It is made of
Like,
glass.
strength is...
It is made of glass, but somehow intact after all these years.
Okay. I will still take this moment to go back to the R&D room where the glowing one was.
Okay.
And search around for something useful, and if I find a key, great.
Something useful.
I know Major Gusset was excited to go find new toys, so I'm looking for what I think Major Gusset would call a new toy. Like anything big, gun, flamethrower, laser, mountable.
A railway cannon.
You find something that looks kind of fun, which is what looks like a cutter, like a. But it's a. It looks like it's run on some sort of a self-contained battery system, and possibly uses plasma, so it could be a plasma torch, perhaps.
I will gather that up and maybe some stuff that looks like it goes with it.
Oh, nothing goes with it. This thing basically is about yay big. And it looks like it has the battery built in and something else built in, maybe the gas it uses, whatever. But it's all built into one like handy little unit.
Oh, she's gonna love this. I grab that and I start actually looking for a key.
Okay.
But not in this room and not on this turn.
Okay. Piece of advice: that key is going to be like looking for a needle in a haystack at this point.
In that case, I will go back towards the door and try to break it with not my new toy, because I don't want to break the new toy on the door. That would be bad. I have a pipe wrench.
Okay. Okay, so you're going to take the pipe wrench and slam it into the glass door.
Yep.
It shatters all over the place.
Ha! Brilliant! I crawl carefully through.
Okay. All right, you crawl carefully through. That brings us to the end of your turn. Major Gusset, you're up.
I'm gonna shoot the glowing one again.
Keep in mind that glowing one is now after your last move. It is now at far distance or distance 3. I forget what it's called in the system. So you're getting further away from it.
I float back until it's at medium range.
Okay. You hit.
But do you do damage, though?
That's the question.
Yeah.
Haha.
How do you damage? 1,
That's
2, 3,
piercing,
4, 5,
right?
6.
Yep.
Oh, well, not quite.
So
as good.
5 damage total after the piercing gets calculated in.
Oh, wait a minute. It is piercing. That'll overcome the damage reduction. So that okay.
Or is it 4? I forgot if you said this thing had damage reduction 3 or 4.
I
Well, it has damage reduction 4, but we got 2 effects. So that'll be...
So that's piercing 2.
Right.
Overcomes 2 of that damage reduction for a total of 4 damage, right?
Right.
Am I doing that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep, that's what I got. Alright, and give me a hit.
And it's to the arm.
Okay.
The arm.
So
10.
the arm looks like it's barely hanging on by a thread. It's just kind of trailing behind. So it's still using its good leg and its good arm to try to pull itself forward. Is that the end of your turn?
And then I strategically fall back out, safely out of its range.
Okay. All right. Moving on to Regis. You are getting pretty close to the Killdozer. What do you want to do?
Keep going.
Okay. So you're going to use your entire turn to reach the Killdozer.
Well, I mean, it feels is using up one of my precious bullets worth it here?
I would say above the table, no, just because this thing has so much frickin' damage reduction.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to go to the Killdozer and get her started.
Okay. You reach the Killdozer. You get it started. That's your turn. The glowing one continues moving forward at an albeit extremely reduced rate and is unable to reach Major Gusset, bringing us back to Garrick, who is standing out front going, "Hey guys, where's my ride?"
All right.
You finally here?
No.
I got a present for you. Oh, they're not there yet?
No.
I'll start running back around the building on the outside.
Okay. All right. That's your entire turn?
Yeah.
Okay. Major Gusset.
I'm gonna shoot it again.
All right. Give me a roll.
I shouldn't be surprised at this point. Why am I still surprised?
Hey!
That is a crit fail and a crit hit.
Oh shoot, I don't have any more luck.
No.
You're out of luck. What weapon are you
Ha ha.
Location 11, so arm again, I think.
using? Okay. All right, give me some damage. One, 2, 3, 4, 5 with the laser gun, so it's energy. That reduces it to 2. Is any of that piercing?
Yeah, it's all of it. Or piercing 1.
Piercing 1. Okay. Here's what happens. You shoot this thing in the arm. It rips the shoulder clean off, and you see the whole thing just slump down, like, and stop moving.
Still got a leg.
It is not moving. It looks dead.
Wow,
It's like,
well
it's
done,
like
Major.
oozing glowing blood out of what used to be its arm.
Does that mean we're out of combat?
Yes.
Garrick comes running around the front end of the Killdozer. What are you doing? Let's go!
I'm gonna float over and shoot its leg.
All right. You make a bloody mess out of what's left of it. Just so you know, getting near to this thing though, it subjects you to radiation.
That's okay. I'm a robot.
All right. No, it's dead. You killed it.
Okay, cool.
What is you? How did you? Wow. Huh. Maybe we shouldn't panic as often as we do, guys. If we're capable of something like this.
Oh no, you had good reason to panic on that one. You should not have been able to beat it. That was a level 9 creature.
Does that mean we level up?
We'll figure that one out between sessions.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you're going to pile on the killdozer and leave now, right?
Oh yeah, I've had enough of this place.
We're not gonna scour the R&D room a little bit more now.
No, I got you this, and I'll look at this
nice.
thing.
Oh, thank you. We can leave now.
Alright. You get into the killdozer, you take off, you head back towards Vault 2, which is not very far away. So, you manage to escape this with your lives. I am truly in awe that you're able to take out a glowing one. Congratulations. That was not intentional. You're supposed to know
It was honestly the dice.
You're supposed to
Let's see
know
if I
when
can
to stand and fight and when to bravely run away, and this would have been the time to bravely run away.
Well, Brave Robin did run away a few times.
Yes, well, it worked out. It worked out, and you're still alive. So you're headed back toward Vault 2. We're going to go ahead and call this a game. Okay, like my connection started to fade out there for a second. We're going to call it a session. I'm still recovering from con crud. Hopefully by next time on, I will not sound like a hacking, I don't know, whatever, something hacked. So anyway, let's go ahead and do our outros, starting with Raven.
Hello, everyone. I am Raven. I've had the pleasure of playing Brave Robin. Brave Major Gusset. Tonight, you're a dependable handy bot. You can find me all over the internet at A Familiar Raven. Catch me and my High Riders team on Friday, 5 p.m. Pacific. Be on the lookout for a second launch, which will I'll have a second team alternating pretty soon, and possibly The Walking Dead.
Cool.
So, thank you.
All right, Dennis.
Hi, I played Garrick Benson tonight, and as a team, I just counted up, we rolled 8 crits tonight. I think that's more than I've ever seen in any game in any session. As for me, you can find me over on my YouTube channel, OKSDM, or on Twitter at OKest__DM to see all of my latest stuff. Next time you can see me on the internet will be Monday night for The Facet, our Pathfinder 2 campaign over at Mistress Winter's Court on Twitch.
Cool. All right, Eric.
Cool. Eric playing Regis Mosset, and you can find me on Twitter if you really care to look at Freebodar.
All right, and I am Darren Drader, the Overseer / Plague Monkey. Yeah. So I'm a game designer. There's 23 years worth of stuff out there for you to check out. I also have a store up at DriveThruRPG. Just go up there and look for Darren Drader Designs. I've got some inventions up there. I've got some maps, and it's all for sale. So go check that out. Give me some love if you don't mind. And
Project.
and that'll be that.
Shameless plug.
So, that's our session for tonight, and we will see you in a couple weeks.
Bye, everyone.
Good night.